It is a gorgeous day in the city of Hamilton. Hopefully, wherever you are and whenever you're enjoying this, you can say the same as well. Welcome to the final edition of Sober Second Thoughts here for 2024 on the Fifth Quarter Show on YouTube. New content coming starting next week. I'll fill you in just a matter of minutes, but let's get to Sober Second Thoughts after the East and West final. This year's Eastern final, very similar to last year's contest, only in reverse. Last year, Toronto rocked in the regular season. They enjoyed the bye week before the East final. Then Montreal used a bunch of turnovers to beat the Argonauts on their way to winning the Grey Cup last year. This year, Montreal raced out to an early lead in the regular season. They had the bye week, but then they coughed up the football 5 times last weekend, and it proved costly as Toronto held on for a 30-28 win. Bad news, though, for Toronto. Argonauts quarterback Chad Kelly, you probably all saw it, broken ankle last Saturday. Very unfortunate for the Argonauts. So Toronto will start Nick Arbuckle in Sunday's Grey Cup matchup against Winnipeg. I'll say this, football is the ultimate team sport. If the Argos hope to win in Vancouver, they will need a total team effort to beat the Blue Bombers. Great Eastern final. Was a rock and sock'em Western final, although not very close. Winnipeg raced out to a 14-0 lead in the first quarter, and they never looked back. The Bombers blew away the Rough Riders 38-22, thanks to huge games by some of their big-time players. Quarterback Zach Caleros, running back Brady Oliveira, receiver Kenny Lawler was outstanding. The number one defensive unit came to play. Incredible O-line play by Winnipeg. That was a total team effort. Riders receiver Keon Schaefer-Baker was unbelievable for Saskatchewan, but that was pretty much it for the Rough Riders. They needed more out of more people. And Winnipeg neutralized Saskatchewan's run game and forced the Riders to kick field goals instead of scoring touchdowns, especially early in the game. And a special shout out to Winnipeg defensive back Reda Kramdi. He was unbelievable. He had a game-high 9 defensive tackles and a huge sack in the red zone. The raucous Winnipeg crowd, also a big factor for the Bombers. So who's going to win on Sunday? Well, I'm going to reveal my pick coming up on the final episode later on this week on picks, props, and predictions. As I mentioned off the top, new content coming to the fifth quarter, and we're not going to waste any time. Of course, we have the live Grey Cup postgame show following Sunday's big game between Toronto and Winnipeg. Who are you rooting for? Can't root for the Argos, can you? Some of you out there might be, especially if you're a Toronto fan, for sure. And some of you might be rooting for Toronto because you're sick of Winnipeg being in the Grey Cup 5 years in a row. After the Grey Cup on Sunday, I will be live here on the fifth quarter show on YouTube in around 10-ish or so. Of course, talk about the game. We'll have to talk about the halftime show with the Jonas Brothers as well. Should be an exciting one. Fingers crossed. Starting November 19th, the premiere episode of Seasons. We're going to take a look back at some of the iconic seasons that the Hamilton Tiger Cats and previous iterations of the Tiger Cats have enjoyed over the years. November 21st, that's a Thursday, will be the debut episode of Legends. Similar to Seasons, only this will focus on the players, the coaches, the front office personnel, the who's who of legendary Tiger Cats from years gone by will be profiled in Legends. And I thought long and hard about this, and we've talked about this on the show many times. Free agency. Which players are signed? Which players are unsigned? Of that latter group, who do you want to see come back? What other free agents out there should the Tiger Cats go after? I'm going to encapsulate all into one show. Friday, November the 22nd, 8 p.m. We're going to be live here on the fifth quarter show on YouTube and talk about free agency, offense, defense, special teams, all crammed into one. I was going to separate it, and I thought, no, let's go full bore and talk about the entire unit. That should be fun. Still working on finalizing an interview with outgoing Commissioner Randy Ambrosie. I have been told that sometime later on this week, probably after his State of the League address, we'll be able to get him on the program. And so I will package that up for you. And the plan is, and I've put in the request already for the Tiger Cats to have some marquee people from Tiger Town on the show in the weeks ahead. So look for that comment as well. Also want to give one more heads up for tickets to the 24th annual Sport Hamilton Breakfast of Champions on Monday, December 2nd. It's being held at Carmen's Banquet Center. The tickets on sale right now. They're $30. sporthamilton.com is the website. Again, sporthamilton.com. We're going to celebrate the top athletes, the teams, the coaches, the best of the best in 2024. I'll be there. Hopefully we'll see you there as well. As always, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe and Oski Wee Wee.